Change is coming. What do we need to imagine?
In Israel and the Palestinian territories, there is growing tension between communities and a rise in health challenges. Since 2004, Healing Across the Divides, with its vision of peace building through health, funds and provides support to community groups. These groups improve health by diminishing gender-based violence against Bedouin women, lowering breast cancer rates among ultra-Orthodox women, counseling women and children in the West Bank, and preventing the spread of HIV among African refugees. In 2015, we launched a successful program to dramatically reduce high childhood injury rates with the help of a special group of women, grandmothers, from Palestinian, Jewish, and Bedouin communities.
Thank you very much for being with us today. My name is Norbert Goldfield, and I'm the founder and executive director of Healing Across the Divides. And this is our 20th year. What's amazing, and I'm so honored to be with Len Rubenstein today, is the fact that Len is the reason why Healing Across the Divides is in existence today. I want to ask Len to make a few words about the origin of Healing Across the Divides, and I want to thank you so much for being with us today, Len.
Thank you, Norbert. I'm a professor at the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, and 20 years ago, I was executive director of an organization called Physicians for Human Rights, which engaged in human rights investigations and advocacy around the world. And Norbert, who was a volunteer with Physicians for Human Rights, came to me with an unusual proposition to help sponsor a visit to the United States and a tour and lecture tour by two physicians, one Palestinian and one Israeli, both of whom deeply believed in peace, to try to educate the American Jewish, Palestinian, and larger community about how peace might be advanced, not through some kumbaya kind of hand-holding or through unrealistic forms of collaboration, but on both sides to support communities, particularly marginalized communities, in gaining access to dignified health care. And out of that, unbeknownst to me, Norbert had a vision of an organization to carry this out and give grants to community organizations. And so began Healing Across the Divides. And I had a role in the original board and try to help it grow. But it was Norbert's vision of what peace through health really meant that was the fount of this organization.
Len, thank you so much for those kind and heartfelt words. Appreciate who you are and look forward to knowing you for many, many more years. Thank you, Len.
Thank you.
White Hill Farms, a project of HATD that brings together Jews and Bedouin Arabs in neighboring communities in the Negev. The goals for this project are to improve health, raise awareness around nutrition and the environment, and coexistence. The story of the farm and the communities of Yerucham and Rachma working together was picked up by Israeli television. Here is the program.
This small farm on the outskirts of Yerucham is a perfect example of the coexistence between the two settlements. We can see Jewish and Bedouin children playing together and sharing different experiences.
Before the coronavirus pandemic, people from Yerucham arrived here 3 times a week. There is also a joint robotic class for Rachme and Yerucham, and there are many other activities. The children enjoy it a lot.
This initiative has a great value from different aspects: educational, environmental, and also political. It brings us together with our neighbors, connect us to the earth, and also add some educational values which our children don't get in school.
What attracted me to Yerucham was that it's like a microcosm of Israeli society, and it's a place where what I see is the real Israel, where you're not in an Anglo bubble or a circle of people who are similar to you, but it's a place where you meet Israel in all its incredible diversity, with the challenges, and also with incredible people who are really trying to figure out how to live together in the best way possible.
In 2019, HATD funded its first project in Gaza. Diabetes Palestine utilizes the evidence-based chronic disease self-management program, a comprehensive approach developed at Stanford University to help young people with type 1 diabetes.
The first point that I wanted to say about the program is the teamwork that we had. It's the first time since I was diagnosed with diabetes that I've seen people work as a team regarding helping adolescents with diabetes. And I love the program because it focused on things that us in the Arab world don't talk about that much. When we talk about the psychosocial aspect of diabetes, when you talk about your mental health, people in the Arab world or here in the Middle East don't talk about those things that much. It's only about what you eat. It's only about how much you exercise. So they don't focus on other factors that affect your diabetes.
Thank you so much for inviting us and for supporting us with the Mother Tongue program. It's been a year. We just celebrated 1 year this last Friday, so it was exciting. I'd like to say that HATD, in addition to just supporting financially, they're very unique in the fact that they are very involved in the whole process and are there to support us to think through what we do and make decisions together and help us with knowledgeable people in the field, so that we're not alone and we're thinking how to create our project the best way that we can and make it sustainable. So we're not just getting through this first year, but we're looking long term to grow the project throughout Israel.
I think it is really important to hear out from everyone who's living here. I think we all share the same values and the same challenges and the same fears and all this mixed feelings. And I think we're all also, every one of us is getting messages, how are you doing? Are you okay? And you really don't know how to answer that question. You feel really shaken, and it's a lot what is really going on. But yeah, being in a community that supports each other, we in families and surrounding networks, we hold each other tight, and we respect the human values, and we all share the human values and think about that, and that's what really holds us together. I'm going to share with you a bit of the context where we are working in and what we are doing, and share really what is really going on on the ground, not just now, but for all the years that have passed as well. We started this program. This is our second year in My Lifestyle, My Health, that is funded by Healing Across the Divides. And we partnered with each other and also in the design in terms of the M&E collection. But I have also now added to it my well-being, because this is a really important aspect for everyone in the past 2 months. That is even more than any time that has passed. I will give you a short introduction and a bit of a context of where we are working and what are we doing. So Palestine Sports for Life organization is founded since 2010. I'm one of the co-founders and also managing it since then. It's a leading Palestinian non-profit sports for development organization, and we respond to the developmental needs in the different Palestinian communities, and mostly the vulnerable ones, which is across the West Bank, Gaza, East Jerusalem. And we also design all our programs according to the SDGs. We are also recognized on a global level as an organization, and our members in the different international organizations or coalitions in the sports for development field.
When my brother was killed, I was very angry, very bitter, and it took me many years to overcome and realize that not only do we need to talk to each other, but we need to work together. And that's what, Norbert, you're doing with Healing Across the Divides, and Nihad and everybody in your work. It's not only a dialogue, and often that's the conversation, but it's figuring out how we can come together to make a difference on the ground, and how we can create a reality that is different. Martin Luther King Jr. said, men often hate each other because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other. They don't know each other because they cannot communicate, and they cannot communicate because they are separated.
On that tour, I saw people helping people. I saw hospitals for people, for women that were having issues. I saw grandmothers who were trying to protect their children. I saw medical facilities. I saw a desert with a garden in it. It was amazing. It was truly amazing. And these things will always stay with me. And now when people ask me about Israel, I say you must get both sides. You must. You have to do the study tour with Norbert and his group, because you see both sides of the coin and it's not one-sided. Now, when I hear people talk and give their opinions about Israel and the Palestinians, I say, no, no, no. There's another side of that coin. Get a hold of Healing Across the Divides, and your eyes will be truly opened.
It's a pleasure to be with you all today. What are my reflections of these past 20 years since the founding of Healing Across the Divides in 2004? I basically, as those of you who know me, say that I have three reflections. As Len Rubenstein spoke at the beginning of this video, it seemed that in 2004, there was an auspicious time. People were interested in peace building through health. I remember going with the two physicians, one Israeli and one Palestinian, to the Harvard School of Public Health, and there were hundreds of people there. The talk was introduced by the dean of the School of Public Health. It seemed like a good idea for us to really start at that time Healing Across the Divides. And it's been, in many ways, a pretty wild journey. At first, I did everything. I went to Israel and Palestine 3 to 4 times a year. I met with grantees. Together with a small board, we evaluated everybody. But basically, everything fell to me. But then slowly but surely, as we increased our budget with your support, we started to hire people part-time, both in Israel and in the West Bank. First, we hired a person who was able to communicate, Tova Reznicek, who's been with us for more than 10 years. But today, the situation, frankly, is simply put the most difficult it's ever been since I've been working in the area. And I've been working in the area since 1980. No question about it. There's more and more extremists on both sides every day. This makes cross-border working together very difficult. And therefore, I'm very proud of the fact that right now, there is a cross-border initiative between a Palestinian group working in the southern Hebron Hills, together with a Palestinian group working in northern Israel, from Nazareth, Israel. They're working together on chronic disease self-management. So that's my second point, which is to say, situation is simply put the most difficult, yet there are opportunities that Healing Across the Divides is seizing at every moment. Lastly, where do we go from here? For those of you who know me, I never predict the future. But I can tell you one thing. The vast majority of people everywhere, not just Israelis and Palestinians, but all human beings, just want to live as healthy and meaningful a life as they can, have a family, and live their lives. Just today being May 28th, all the Palestinian grantees in the West Bank got together. Young people, virtually all of them, talking about the initiatives, some of them meeting for each other for the first time, speaking about the evaluations that they're doing to improve the health of the participants and the people that they're serving. It gives me pause and even, to a certain extent, a little bit of hope. Though I have to say that they all spoke about the traumas and the checkpoints and the difficulties that they're all facing, but they're not giving up hope. Most recently, Foreign Affairs, the journal Foreign Affairs, came out with an article that stated, only the Middle East can fix the Middle East. I largely agree with the article, but would refine it a bit further. I've always felt that it's Israelis and Palestinians that will fix the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, currently a war that's going on. And yet, Healing Across the Divides will have had a measurable impact, not just improving the capacity of the groups that we've worked with, and we've worked with more than 50 groups over the last 20 years. 50 groups over the last 20 years. Almost all the leaders of these groups are amazing young people. We're hopeful that some of those young people will be tomorrow's political leaders. And certainly from today's meeting with Palestinian grantees, I can say unequivocally they easily could, but it's their choice. But at the end of the day, Healing Across the Divides will have fulfilled its mission, which has remained the same over the last 20 years, which is to measurably improve the health of marginalized Israelis and all Palestinians in this Israeli-Palestinian war. Lastly, thank you very much. This is the kind of work that could never occur without all of you. And when I say all of you, I would like to highlight my family, board of directors, all of you who listen to this video, our supporters, and especially our staff. The staff is amazing. It's very difficult, the situation right now, but the staff are staying the course and they have not given up hope, even if that hope has significantly been diminished. In conclusion, thanks so much. Look forward to working with you and learning from you, and appreciate all your support.
Change is coming. What do we need to imagine? Change is coming. What do we need to imagine? Change is coming. What do we need to imagine? Change is coming. What do we need to imagine? Change is coming. What do we need to imagine? To be prepared. You know I'm scared to be prepared. Yes, I am scared, but I know from brokenness there's whole. Yes, I know from brokenness there's hope.